Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Hustle Up podcast, dedicated to all the movers and shakers, motivated millennials grinding past a traditional 40-hour work week to create a life by design, stop living life on default, and get after it day in, day out, no days off, or if you do take days off, they're planned, good restructure days. My name is Clint
Jonathan Hessing.
And today we're talking about customer service. He and I both had an interaction at a Moe's in Milton recently that was insanely low vibrational energy. You could tell, I actually felt guilty eating there because I felt as if I were imposing the employees to work a job that they hated. And it looked like they were waiting any second, just any minute, to get off work, go smoke a cigarette, go maybe do something worse, smoke something worse, I don't know. They wanted to be anywhere but there. And it translated, I felt gross leaving this place. Mm-hmm. They didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be there. I had to bless, nobody wanted to be there.
Nobody.
I had to bless my food afterward because it was prepared with such negative energy. And
you know the Chipotle hack?
No.
When you're ordering your food, look them in the eyes and they tend to give you a higher quantity.
That's funny.
Right? So when we were going through that, of course, it's Moe's, so I'm trying to whip out the good old Chipotle hack, and boom, bow, my whole energy level just, it was like,
inflated.
Yeah, it was like looking in that girl's eyes, like, I mean, we felt the same thing. We talked about it. It was like from the moment you see the food prepped and how the people are serving it, and it's just like the food doesn't taste as good, and it was an interesting experience.
And I was hungry. Yeah, and I was real hungry. Yeah. So I want to contrast this, and we'll bring it back to the overarching idea. I get lunch at least 3 days a week at a spot in Marietta called The Bull.
The Bull.
Welcome to The Bull. And I think she must own it. The lady who owns it always answers the phone. I order 20 minutes ahead, and I say, "Hey, it's Clint. I'm hoping to pick up my usual." And she knows. I don't even have to say, "Hey, it's Clint Crow." She says, "Hello, Mr. Clint. I am so excited. Yes, we got you. Be ready in 15 minutes." And then I get to skip the line, and I feel even more important.
That VIP service.
It is, and the difference is this lady, and it's not just her, everybody in that shop is, shout out to the owners of that shop, shout out to Anna, who is there at least 2 days a week.
Owns the Bowl?
Well, Anna doesn't own the Bowl, she works there, but the employees that work there are happy to be there, and she's been there for over a year.
That's a feat.
It's a feat.
Yeah.
And you see this higher vibrational energy. They are excited to take my order. I'm excited to pay them a little bit, well, actually way more than I would pay Moe's, because it's a healthy alternative. It's where healthy meets tasty.
Great fusion.
And they're excited. There's good energy. They're always happy to see me. They always ask me how my day is. They always tell me I have a good day. And I return that energy back. And the overarching lesson here is, if you're in sales, if you're a manager, if you're an entrepreneur, and your customers, your employees, the people you interact with, your prospects, whoever, are calling you, visiting you, they're trying to give you money. Maybe they're not trying, maybe they're just trying to get information, and you're bringing back low energy. Look, I'll probably eat at Moe's again, but I will not eat at that Moe's again, ever. Yeah. I'm avoiding that fast food on that part of town. It made me feel not just like the food was bad, but it made me feel guilty it made me feel ugly. It was just all kinds of nastiness involved. And if you have people that are trying to give you money and you're annoyed, or they're imposing some type of service on you, you're in the wrong industry. You're in the wrong business. You need to switch and do something where you enjoy serving the customers. And then, just the same way that you shop at brands that enjoy serving you, why wouldn't you work somewhere where you enjoy improving the quality of somebody's life one day at a time.
Right. And I agree, and I guess I absolutely agree. You are not going to be able to maximize your energy level or maintain the other person's if you're having lower vibrational thoughts, whether it be self-doubt or anger or fear, any of those things while you're on the job, supposed to being the face of customer service, right? So there's a big macro example which we can make, especially being in the South, in Georgia, but I'll come back to that. The more important thing is, at least from my perspective, is up until about 4 or 5 months ago when we got our most recent funding, I had been in the food industry. I'd been a server at least 3 days a week, every week since I was 14. I went from busboy to being a server. And when you work something that amount of time and show up, you realize there's different things you can do to maximize the experience for you and for your customers. And so I started to notice the correlation far before I was into any of this mindset stuff, was the correlation of, if I conduct myself this way, will there be a difference in return? As if let's say I failed a test and was like, I don't want to go in today, I want to study for my next test, but I go in anyway. And even in that case, when I pull up to the parking lot, are there affirmations or ways I can get myself excited to go in from work, even just coming off a test? That would change the whole experience of not just my night, but everyone else's night. So the big thing, and for anyone listening who's in customer service, there is most definitely a difference in ROI from the contingent to the energy you're putting out there. If you're putting good energy out there, you're going to get higher tips. You're going to be able to get more tables. You're going to be able to work in a much more fluid, structured manner than if you went in kind of upset or hazy or just kind of any other negative low frequency reasons to not maintain and uphold 110% perfect customer service. And the big example I wanted to give, and that I tie back to being in the South, and I'm sure there's other restaurants, but you think of a Chick-fil-A and you think of a McDonald's. You think of the people who, and this may or may not be true, but I heard that anytime you say thank you to someone at Chick-fil-A, they have to say my pleasure.
Yeah.
And that's part of written into their corporate culture. And it's just like, it's the small things like that.
It's true.
That,
for the most part. You'll catch them sometimes forgetting.
Right, but it is written in their,
true, yeah.
It is written in their corporate culture that they have to say that. And so, you don't have anything like that at McDonald's.
Yeah, no.
You know, and for that matter, most of them, right? So that's the big thing, and you know, we can even segue into business owners really embedding this into their culture, because without it, you know, it's and Gary Vee talks about this one thing called, you know, it's a bit of a different subject, bit of a different tangent, but it's come to my head, is not customer service. That's more of a defensive mechanism, but customer offense. And how, when you're really thinking of customer service, it should be an offensive and defensive strategy. So the example he gives is, he knew one of his clients was a Bears fan, and he wanted to maybe upsell a deal or something. And so he bought the guy a really exclusive Bears jersey and sent it to him, and it ended up panning out. And so, you know, I'm kind of rambling on. I'm being a little long-winded right now, but those are my 3 main points on customer services. 1, anyone in the food industry, coming from someone who's been in the food industry for, almost over a decade now, your ROI definitely is contingent upon the energy you're exerting. 2, from a corporate standpoint, you've got to have it embedded into your culture. You've got to have the minute, small, nuanced things like saying my pleasure after a customer says thank you, and scale that up tremendously, and that's how you do it on a corporate. And then the third thing is, you know, the idea of customer offense, not just customer defense, as being under this umbrella of customer satisfaction or customer service.
You've got... I hear people get confused all the time, and they don't know whether the best offense is a good defense or the best defense is a good offense. Guys, the best defense is a good offense because you're you keep the lead. You're putting points on the board. And And so staying on the offensive, I heard another bit of a tangent, but the entrepreneurship professor at KSU used to tell us a story about a student that he wanted to come work for his startup for essentially way less than the student wanted to work for. He said, look, startup, I can't pay you a lot of money,
Right.
but look at where this is going. Look at the future. Kid wasn't having it. He said, well, what do you want? And he reverse engineered this in a beautiful way. Guy said, dude, I want to show up, and I think it was like, I can pay you $1,000 a month or $1,200 a month, but it wasn't enough. So the kid says, man, I gotta show up to Thanksgiving dinner, lunch, whatever it was, in a brand new BMW 6 Series.
This was the professor or the student?
Student.
Okay.
He said, I gotta show up in that sports car. And the professor looks at it, and he thinks about what would a lease for a luxury vehicle cost. I think it ended up costing him like $800 a month, which is less than the $1,200 he was gonna pay anyway. So he says, what if I pay for this car for you? What if I get this for you? And as long as you work for me, you can drive this car you've always wanted. And the student is ecstatic. He's pumped, right? Well, the professor ends up saving $400 a month anyway and leases the kid the car. And what's funny is he could have had the better deal, but it wasn't about the better deal. It was about coming up with a creative solution to keep this kid passionate. Now the kid has the energy. Now the kid's excited to come to work, excited to serve the customers. Now the kid has purpose. And he's got that car he always was, that thing he always wanted. Whereas if you were just getting the $1,200 a month, he comes at it maybe feeling like, I'm not getting enough, this isn't cool. And he may not have had access to the same credit or the same lease deals that the professor had, right? But it's that creative solution, staying on the offense, coming up with something outside the box to keep people happy. And there was another thing you said on offense, defense.
You think about that, I can tangent off something you said, because I love when someone's telling a story and I'm like, I know where this is going, and then you come out with a different point.
Wow.
That was perfect. Because what I thought you were going to talk about was, old boy who wants the blue car, right? He wants to pull up to his Thanksgiving dinner for what? The experience of pulling up in the blue car at the Thanksgiving dinner. And all good marketers know it. Fuck, anybody who's in business knows that the whole damn thing is about providing the best fucking experience possible.
That's right.
And so it's everything. So it's like the professor helped that kid get to that experience.
Yeah.
That's what Disney is so different for. And I just read a book.
Disney Way?
The Disney Way. Yeah. You read it too, yeah. And so a huge part of that is how vigorous the customer service training was.
Yeah. Their whole company culture is out of control, and then you look at the culture code, right?
Right.
And what's his name? Who's culture code?
Goldman. Daniel,
Nope. Talent code 2.
Yeah.
Is it Goldman?
Dan Goldman?
No.
Coleman?
We will edit. We'll figure it out. We won't edit, but we'll figure it out.
It'll be on the book list in our blog.
That's right. Yeah. Talent code, culture code. They look at culture code. Looks at exceptional company cultures. What are the top companies doing, and what's different about their culture? Disney, Apple, Google.
That's a big one right there. Google is the one that changed that I almost want to say Google created that Silicon Valley stereotype of air hockey tables in the break room, bean bags in the office. Think about this whole new era of the programmers, right?
Yeah.
Google has taken that. They've put restaurants in their headquarters that are pretty much paid for on meal plan. They've really gone beyond. And this is actually a great tangent. I'm glad you brought that up, because it goes from customer service to it's almost like an internal customer service.
It's a company culture, right? Fanatic and fanatical, fantastic employees. Emphatic, hyped up employees create a more emphatic customer experience.
Yes, dude.
They get customers hyped because they're hyped. their life is good, they cannot wait to help make your life good. They're not bringing that negative bullshit in, and they're not bringing it to you because, it could be anything. Maybe they don't have to work at a cubicle. Maybe they do work at a cubicle and their company's cool as fuck. And maybe there's no harsh dress code, or whatever it is. I don't know. It looks different for everybody. But when you keep your employees happy, when you keep them well paid, it goes back to that bullshit. Most people are giving it just enough to not get fired. Yeah. And most companies are paying you just enough not to quit. But when you go the extra mile for your team, when you create a company culture that says, we're taking care of you, we love you, we value you, here's your purpose here's your role in the collective. Mm-hmm. You are the individual, but you're part of our tribe, right? You're creating that vibe, you're creating that tribe. Now, they are pumped to crush it.
And you know what? I think we should do a whole nother one of these one and dones on company culture. But to bring it back to customer service, I want to know from you, because you have 2 high revenue, small, medium sized companies, your event rental company and your roofing company. What are some practical pieces of advice that you can give people on how to handle a situation when it gets a little rocky?
So, preventive maintenance, proactive versus reactive.
Say
right
that
off
again.
the bat. Preventive maintenance, better to be proactive than reactive. And
get ready so you don't have to, stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. For both of these companies, big jobs will range over 30 to 50K. Average jobs are anywhere from 4 to 10K. Like these are, and that holds true for maybe the roofing deal. Average is closer to 10, but then you see with the tent company, we rent out tables and chairs to customers. They can call in, they can come pick them up. Maybe we'll go drop them off. And there are a lot of smaller jobs that go on. And so I get so lit for these $10, $20, $40, $70,000 jobs. I'm about it. You got my full attention. The CEO is in the building. The owner came to give you personal attention.
Yeah,
right?
huge.
I'm lit. I'm about it. But then if a call gets to me and somebody wants to rent 4 tables and 20 chairs, I have to stay on it. Like I don't want to even have disappointment come through the phone, right? Because if somebody's calling your business and they want to give you money, they want to give you business, you got it. You don't know what's going on in the future. You don't know if they have a daughter who's getting married and they've had a negative experience with some other company and they finally picked the right one based off your web presence and your collective, or maybe it was a referral. And if you come and bring that negative, oh man, I'm disappointed, I have to take $50 from this customer. It's bullshit, right? Yeah. You got to bring it every day. And just like you were talking about with the law of reciprocity, you don't know this person is probably a repeat customer. If they've got one event going on, they're probably the host of their family events. And so you have a team, you keep your team happy, right? You want people to field all this. But if you're taking any money from any customer, you gotta treat them as if they're, well, you don't have to, but I think it's wise to.
Good practice.
Yeah, it's best practice.
Kind of like how they say, treat the janitor like you would treat the CEO, treat the $500 job like you treat the $50,000 job.
That's right. Every customer, whoever's in front of you right now, is the most important person in the room. That was something I noticed, and this is anecdotal. I don't have any crazy science on this. Right. But the best salespeople that I know personally, when you're in front of them, you are the most important person in the world. And you've got their they're fully locked in. They're engaging you, and you know that they care about you. And they might send you, if they're really fire, they might send you a follow-up text later, right? It's like, and then so if you want to model that type of behavior, get around people who make you feel really important. Figure out what they're doing, and then give it back to them. Pay it forward to the customers, to the employees, to the people in your life, to your mom you haven't talked to, whoever, your sister, whatever. Make the people in your life feel important. Make the people you're in front of feel special when they're in your presence.
Absolutely.
And
every way possible. That
yeah.
just doesn't mean physically in front of you.
Yeah.
If you're getting a website hit from a potential client, if you're getting a phone call from a customer, if you're this is why company culture comes back, because anyone under you or beside you, if you run a horizontal leadership, everyone beside you or below you has to be able to handle the same kind of situations with the same tenacity that you bring.
And a good closing, we gotta be getting over.
This is a longer one and done. Usually they're between 10 and 15 minutes, but this is one that's really important.
Or just you getting on a roll, right?
Yeah.
The lead time. If somebody sends in a request, it drives me insane. We are in 2019 not to get a quick quote back. It's not that difficult. No. You aren't that busy. You just don't prioritize all leads the same.
Real quick, and for God's sakes, no fucking bots.
Yeah, no bots. I'm not trying to have a bot.
Bots.
If you've got, it's really cool. If you've got some kind of system set up that's not a service-oriented business, product-oriented business, and you can generate a quick quote automatically, sick. That's great. Let's run it.
Yeah.
If you've got automated services where your guys bill out like a plumber, per se, electrician, your guys bill out at so-and-so an hour, it's going to cost this and could be extra if they find, something else. Bot it out. But if you have a services-oriented business, send the quote back quickly. Get the business. It's the difference between the first person who can get that quote out, 15 minutes, an hour, they answer the phone on the second call, third call, or not a first call, but second ring quickly. The difference between that and the company that waits 12 hours to send the quote, that takes a day to call you back, it's monumental. And you don't think it matters that much as a business owner, but it makes all the difference to the customer.
Absolutely. Think about Comcast. They put Wi-Fi and cable in almost every house as far as I can see from here. And they have one of the worst reps because of their reps.
And you know what's funny?
What?
I got Google Fiber at the house.
Yeah.
I have a problem with fiber. I can get a human being who knows what they're doing. That's the best part. A competent human being on the phone in, it might take a minute.
Yeah.
A single minute. The phone tree isn't like some phone farm that's trying to walk you through it. They guide you to exactly the right department. Human being picks up and they tell you how to fix the problem.
Absolutely.
And it gets fixed quickly.
Quick. That's because you can talk to someone. Hey, customer service hack for any entrepreneurs that are listening. Put a chat function on your website. It's the easiest way to engage. It's the path of least resistance, the least number of actions, and gives you direct access to solve problems right then and there. But this has been awesome. This was huge. This was a great topic. Customer service is very important for getting anywhere in your lives. It's a good relationship management tool to just understand how to handle things and that you should handle things. It should be embedded in your company culture. It should be a huge part of your life in any capacity, whether you're an entrepreneur or not. Customer service, aka relationship management, is fucking huge. Don't fuck that up. It's very important. If you want to make money, stay high frequency. That's what we're all about over here. Building life by design, doing what you love. Hustle hard, hustle home. Share us at HSTLUP, www.hstlup.com. We're going to have some of the books mentioned in our book list. We're going to have meetups soon. We got videos, we got audio. And if you want to get in touch with us, you can, because it's not that hard. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Clint.
Until next time, hustle up!